never gonna make it. You're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible. It's not probable. You're irresponsible. Too many obstacles. You gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow. You can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move. I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions. They blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen. That shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're driven. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Oh, will you fight?
Let's start that again. Hello and welcome to Game Day from the UK, another Miami Heat live UK preview streaming show brought to you by the Miami Heat UK, here today to preview tonight's game against the Orlando Magic. First of all, let's introduce the cast. Bilal Mona, how are you?
Feeling good after the W the other night.
Of course, yes, loads. I mean, what a change in enthusiasm and so on tonight from where we was last time. When we was doing this stream, just searching for anything to give us optimism. The Heat came and done exactly what the Heat go out and do. We'll come on to that in a second. Oli Rahimi, how are you, sir?
Yeah, good, mate. I'm going to be asking Bilal for the lottery numbers because he was bang on about Gabe Vincent.
He had his say. He believed in Gabe, and why wouldn't you? So, yeah, well done, Bilal. And back from the desert, Glenn Smith, how are you, sir? You're muted, mate. Oh, no, you're not muted. We just can't hear you. We'll speak to you in a minute, mate. We'll speak to you in a minute, wherever you are. Yeah. When you get your audio sorted. Right. Anyway, right, guys. Great win, as we said. We'll reflect before we come to the Magic. We'll reflect on the incredible win against the Sixers. Yep, Bilal, as Ollie's already said, you had it, mate. You had it. You said you had a feeling about Gabe Vincent. We've waxed lyrical about various players this season. We've given our flowers to Caleb Martin. We've given our flowers to Max Strus, but Gabe Vincent has become a really, really important NBA rotational player. And this is something that not that long ago we was criticising him for saying, look, you know, he's going to give you that, you know, a good bit of defense, going to give you a bit of hustle, he's going to give you 4, 5, 6 good solid minutes. But what you can't really rely on him doing is getting you what we need him for, which is point scoring. Well, Bilal, I mean, talk about turn it on its head. His shot now is going down seamlessly. It's an incredible rise, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I would imagine a lot of Heat Twitter would have been not entirely impressed with Gabe this season up to a few games ago. Didn't really know if he was the best backup point guard option. Obviously, that's a huge position, especially if Kyle Lowry or someone goes down. But he's proven it. He's shooting now 39% from free. So he's becoming a good shooter, and he's becoming a reliable player. And we saw last night he stepped up big when we needed him the most. So
yeah, it's brilliant to see because he's given us. I mean, as I said, this is someone who you was just arguing, you know, just expecting to just fill in and give you the odd minutes, maybe just to plug in while there's a bit of rest time. But he's almost becoming now. I mean, he's a starter at the minute. I don't expect that to last for too long, but suddenly he's becoming an important player. I mean, 26 points, Ollie. But just his general play. Just take the box score away. His general play, 7 from 12 from 3 against the Sixers in that win. But just everything, it seems to be giving you the full package, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Like Bilal just said, his efficiency has gone up a lot in the last couple of games, but he's also taken more. Like he's taking more shots that he wasn't doing before, and he's now making those shots, which is brilliant. Yeah, his progression in the last week or two has been awesome, and it's really what the Heat have needed. My favorite play from the other night was that beautiful spin move he did, kick it out to PJ Tucker in the corner, wide open 3. And he turned around before he even hit the rim. Like it was, you know, it was good. But yeah, he just seems like he's playing with so much confidence at the moment, and it's brilliant. I think if he can keep this up, when we get Oladipo back, and assuming that Oladipo then plays the backup point guard, if you get into the playoffs and Lowry or Oladipo go down, or they get into foul trouble, you've got a ready-made backup replacement if he plays to the level that he has been, as your third option almost. And there's not a lot of teams that can say that they've got that, I think. So if he carries on at this level, it's only going to be good things.
Yep, definitely, 100%. And I'm not finished with Gabe yet, but first of all, Glenn, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes,
Cool,
we've
cool,
got you.
cool.
We've got
There's
you.
too much sand in the microphone.
Well, let's have a very quick segue because we've got some Formula One fans in this stream right now. You was there. What a race, mate! What a day to be there.
What a day to luck out going to Abu Dhabi, eh? What are the chances of that? But honestly, what a day. Just a shame you can't drink in the stands there, or I'm sure there would have been a bit more carnage. I was surrounded by Dutch fans, so it would have been bad.
Who was you cheering on? Are you a Lewis fan or are you a Max fan?
I'm more of I like the young guns. I like a bit of Lando Norris, but you got to back the Brits, haven't you, really? You got to go for Lewis. But poor guy, man, poor guy.
Yeah,
Robbed.
well, Ollie, I know you're a big F1 fan as well. You was cheering on Max. You was happy Max won, yeah?
Yeah, I like him. I think he's, like Glenn said, I just like him because he's young. But then, yeah, I felt so sorry for Lewis. Like, for him to have lost it in that way, I don't think he deserved it. But
yeah, there we go. Yeah, he'll be back, hopefully, I'm sure. But I'm not really sure how me and Ollie get along because Ollie's a Max fan. I'm a Lewis fan. Ollie's a Man United fan. I'm a Liverpool fan. I just don't know. You know, we've got the heat in common. That's the main thing.
That's it. That's where it ends.
So, Glenn, I know you've been sort of trying to keep your eye on the heat action. As we said before we leave, Gabe, we've seen, as I said, Ollie sort of highlighted it there, that it just shows you what confidence does. When you get your minutes, when you get your starting berth, when you can show what you can do, and you've got given your chance. As I said, we've given our flowers to Caleb Martin, and rightly so. But with Gabe coming through as well now, Ollie highlighted it there. Once everyone gets fit, and we're looking at solid playoff minutes, and we know that this team goes deep, but this will get cut for the playoffs. But we're lucky now that we can rely on these players to give you solid minutes, even if there's an injury to go down. We've got sort of ready-made replacements sitting here, and that's huge, isn't it?
I can't think of another team that does as well as we do in any of the last 10 years with undrafted talent. We've got guys just going back and back and back as far as you want these days. With Gabe, with Struess picking things up again, ready-made replacement for Robinson. And again, people like Omer coming in. We're in a strong position. And again, as we were saying just not a week and a bit ago, we've got these tough games. Your big key players are out. Let's start to see what these guys who have really earned their spot on the team can come in and do now. And we're seeing that from a lot of these guys, which is always good to see.
Yeah, well, I mean, the graphic came up before the game that Heat were playing with 10 players against the Sixers. Sixers pretty much at full strength, but Heat with 1 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, 7 undrafted players, and beat them off their court, which is incredible. Where the Sixers is not an easy place to go and get that win was massive, really, really good. A big part of that, Bilal, was the guy again who's taking his chance here with the injury to Bam, Dwayne Goodman. Wow, I mean, not only is he, a 20 and 12 game the other day, he got 10 points, 12 rebounds against the Sixers, but he played better than that. His influence on the court, again, he looks like he's enjoying his basketball. What have you made of Dwayne Dedman's impact since Bam sat down injured? Because for me, it was a concern. I just didn't see him being able to last on court. This is a big guy, doesn't move laterally that well or quickly, but it's just been incredible, isn't he?
Yeah, Dwayne Goodman's someone who surprised me a lot. I would think he's a guy with high motor and not someone who can log in about 30 minutes, which he has been doing recently. But even the small things, he's taking charges. A big guy like that is taking charges. I don't know if you guys watched the game and you saw when we got that turnover in the last minute. He's the one that stepped in and took a charge. So he's doing all this small stuff that don't show up on the box score. And he's so important. So even when Bam comes back, I'm really happy to have him as our backup big.
Yeah, 100%. And Yurtsevin, as you mentioned there as well, came in a handful of minutes. Ollie, last time when we was looking for a bit of optimism, you pointed out Yurtsevin's per 36 stat lines. And again, it would have been boosted. I think it was something like 12 minutes, 5 rebounds, 6 points, something like that. So again, per 36, that's only going to improve him. But one of my favourite bits of the game was in dominating Andre Drummond. What did you make of that?
Yeah, heat culture, baby. Yeah, that was good. If he plays 36 minutes a game, he is the MVP of the league, no question. Um,
Love it.
yeah, no, I thought he did well. Some good minutes from him as well. He's questionable for tonight, I believe. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, if he is out, then it will be Dwayne, and maybe we'll see a bit of UD giving us some minutes at the big positions. But yeah, he really impressed me tonight. And going back to Dwayne Dedman, like, as well as the energy and the scoring and the rebounding that he can bring, his defense on Joel Embiid the other night was brilliant. Like, he really kept him quiet. And for someone who is a multi-time All NBA player, probably the most dominant center in the league, he did really well against him. So yeah, if those two can produce as they have been in Bam's absence, then yeah, we're looking good.
Yep. So yeah, wrapping up there then. So that's the last 4 games when we had the Bucks with their big 3 all playing, the Bulls, short-handed, but so were the Heat, the Cavs, and then obviously the Sixers are pretty much full strength as well. To take 3 wins out of those 4, considering how many players are out. I mean, you take our injury list at the moment, and that's a solid, home court seeded team on its own, let alone anything else. So massive credit to Spoelstra as well for getting in the lab and picking up those W's, because everybody stood up, everybody did. So on to tonight's game then, guys, against the Magic, as it starts now to soften the schedule. Magic come in here obviously in bad form. It's a difficult one because it's a tanking season for them, as we know anyway. They've lost 6 on the row. I think they're 1-9 for their last 10. They sit with a record at the moment of 5-24. Their injury list at the moment is ridiculous. I think they're going to be playing with 9 players that could go down to the bare minimum 8 players. First of all, Glenn, let's tackle maybe the sensitive subject. Should this even be going ahead?
It's going to get like this in every single sport now, isn't it? We've seen it in the Premier League. We've seen it in basketball. I'm sure if any other sport was going on, you'd continue to see cancellations. And it comes down to a question of probably money, but also how much people are looking now to be like, well, we still got to get on with life. And does there just need to be a better protocol for moving these games to continue making the season enjoyable? But at the same time, I'm sure the Magic don't really care, considering that, as you said, they're tanking anyway. So what difference to them does it matter if they've got their guys on 150 grand a season going out, or if they've got their guys on a couple of mil going out? It doesn't really matter. The things it does matter for are when you start missing the big games. And I think questions need to be asked of, do maybe you have a 2-week little break coming up just before the All-Star to ensure that everyone's going to be able to finish the season? Because now is going to be the worst time for COVID.
Yeah, definitely. And it is one of those things, because it is quite easy to say, let's just have a circuit breaker sort of break couple of weeks. I'm not really sure whether that's going to make any difference. I think
Neither am I.
I think that I think maybe what we might see and what we probably will see is maybe it going down to limited capacities again. I'm not really sure. As brilliant as it's been to have fans back, and I mentioned this on the pod with Sam last night, when you look at that Caleb slam against Milwaukee that pretty much sealed the game, and we saw the Heat House erupt, it makes you sort of so pleased to be able to feel that energy again. So we love having fans back, but it sort of seems like a no-brainer at the moment. Omicron is absolutely sort of, dominating its way through the globe. I don't really know what we're doing here with capacity stadia being filled at the moment. It doesn't seem much sense, but this is maybe the issue with an 82 game season, and maybe they need to look at this in future and say, do we need this many games? It seems a bit silly, especially when a lot of them are pointless games, perhaps like tonight, Bilal. Let's just run through the stats here as we come up against the Magic, because you look through sort of the league stats. Magic at the moment, 26th in 3-point percentage, 26th in assists, 29th in steals, 25th in turnovers, 28th in shooting percentage, 28th in effective field goal percentage, 28th in offensive rating, 28th in defensive rating. So they're a bad team. We know they're a bad team, but they are quite a quick team. They're a top 10 team in pace. Heat aren't. We're one of the worst teams now in pace, even though we did start fast. If anything tonight, is that something we've got to be wary of, because they've got some fiery guys, got some fast guys. Cole, Anthony, probably, Anthony Cole, sorry, maybe the biggest sort of beneficiary of that.
Yeah, definitely. Especially seeing as we're the slowest, and we do have like a lot of slow-ish players and old players who might struggle to keep up the pace. But as mentioned before, it looks like the Magic are up to like 8 players or 9 players So their rotation's really thin. So I don't know how they're going to keep that up for 48 minutes, especially with defense of the Miami Heat at the moment. So I feel like it could be a problem, but because of their thin roster, I don't see it as much of a problem tonight necessarily.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they've got enough really, well, all season, despite anything. And this is with Miami obviously being very underhand as well. We're missing a host of players, as we know. It is Cole Anthony. Sorry, I always get that mixed up. Anthony Cole, Cole Anthony. But I have watched a bit of Magic, actually. I've watched a little bit of them recently, and he is a special player, isn't he, Ollie? He's averaging at the moment pretty much 20 points a game, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. A good player, a solid player. And when you look at... like as we go forward, that they've got Fultz coming in again. They've got Isaac who's down injured. We know what they're doing this season, but they've got plenty to build on, plenty to look forward to in Orlando, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very similar to almost Atlanta in a way. I'm not comparing like Cole Anthony to Trae Young at all yet, anyway. But I think the pieces that they have the potential to be like a very fast-paced, high entertaining, sort of high intensity team. And like you said, with Cole Anthony and Mo Bamba, who I think is out tonight, Jonathan Isaac, and obviously, if they're gonna be going for the number 1 pick next year. So yeah, there's definitely hope for the future for them. Obviously, that means that at the moment there's not a lot of hope for them. But just going back to Cole Anthony, yeah, he's brilliant for someone so young. I really like him, and he is a media gem. Like he's really entertaining to watch in his interviews and stuff. He brings another sort of different personality, which instead of just this sort of beige media answers that a lot of the players give, he brings a bit of personality to it. So yeah, it's fun. Hopefully for the Magic's in the Magic's case, then they'll get better over the next couple of years. But at the moment, it's not a lot to worry about, I don't think.
He reminds me a bit of Tyler Hero. He's got that sort of arrogance, that swagger, hasn't he, about him in a good way. So I really like watching him. I think he's an entertaining player. Just coming back to the Heat, we know they've got their injury problems. We're not expecting to see Jimmy Butler tonight. We did maybe expect to see him maybe return on this 4-game road trip. But considering we've taken that Sixers game, Glenn, that maybe a lot of people, including a lot on this panel, didn't expect us to. And we got that win, and we're more than likely to get a W tonight. Do you bother risking him against the Pistons, or do you just say, just get some rest, we'll see you in Miami?
I don't bother playing him until the 29th. I mean, we've got 2 games against the Pistons coming up, 2 games against the Magic, and a game against the Pacers. It's not by any stretch of the means a hard schedule. We've shown what the bench guys can do. And yeah, it would be nice to add in some more of our first team caliber players going forward. But again, don't rush him. Don't rush anyone. There's really no need, especially in this game versus the Magic tonight. And probably the first one against the Pistons is that you go into these 4 games, you expect to probably come out with wins in all 4, despite who's playing. So yeah, I'd give him that extra time, let him rest, let him have a couple of glasses of red wine and sort himself out a bit more.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's I don't see the point at the moment. As I said, the schedule now is really soft. I think now we play every single game over the next 9. Heat will go in as heavy favourites with. I'll quickly run through them with you. So we've got where are we? So Magic tonight, Pistons, Pacers, Pistons again, Magic again, Wizards, Spurs, Rockets, and Kings. That takes you just into the first couple of days of the new year. There is no need to rush anybody back, especially with the guys balling out as they are. Even if you was to take pretty modest, and it is quite modest to say, even if you took a 6 or 5 wins out of those, 6 wins, which you probably on the face of it, you'd look at being disappointed. It still sees you way above 500. That'll put you about 8 games above 500 as it starts to toughen up again, and then as you get your full strength players back. So let's see what happens. Hopefully no dramas tonight, but let's go around as always and get some predictions for tonight's game against the Magic. Bilal, let's start with you. None of us had big confidence last time out. I think you were saying Sixers by 20 last time. I wasn't far behind you saying Sixers by 15. I think we was all pretty much on the same wave. I assume it's a lot different tonight.
I'm going Heat by 20 this time, so I'm going to flip it around.
Heat by 20, love it. Ollie, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it'll be Heat, confident win, hopefully for the bench guys. Couple of UD minutes, maybe a few points for him. Heat by 15.
Good man, Glenn.
I'll pick up somewhere in between, but 18-point win. We've all been going for these fringe guys, and I've been impressed with KZ Okpala looking less and less like a lemon on a weekly basis at the moment. So it'd be nice to see him get some quality minutes, get some confidence back in, and start hitting some shots finally.
Yeah, I used to call him K3 Okpala, and now it's KZ Blockpala, isn't it? He's, as I said, it's nice to see him getting his minutes in, and finally, because there's so much hope on KZ. There's always has been. For the minute we drafted him, there's probably unfairly too much hope on him, but he's finally starting to show some light and showing some good minutes. So good luck to him. I think he'll play big minutes again tonight. Who's got a comment here from Stephen? We will never win the one that are supposed to be decisive. That's not the energy we're here for. It's not the energy we're here for. But there we go. So yeah, I'm going to follow it up. I think UD is going to play up to a dozen minutes tonight. He's going to draw a charge. He's going to get a block. We're going to see some big stuff from UD. That's my big hot take for the night. I'm going to say, yeah, it's going to be kept at arm's length, but Heat by 12 tonight. Let's see how we get on. Another midnight tip. Follow us at the Miami Heat UK for the in-game comms as always. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, Miami Heat UK TV. You can catch up with all of these as they come in. They never go anywhere. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. On Sunday, we are playing the Pistons. Unfortunately, I will not be around all day long. I'm out in London for my company's Christmas do. So I'm out all day, all night. So there'll be no stream coming into Sunday. So let's hope another couple of wins and we'll catch up again next week. Take it easy, guys.